The new Avengers team in the MCU has not been talked about that much, and that is most likely due to the fact that Marvel Studios wasn't 100% sure what they were going to do with the new Avengers team due to the whole Jonathan Majors situation that happened before, where he was arrested and awaiting trial. Once he was found guilty, Marvel Studios immediately fired him, and once that happened, it seemed like most of the plans for Kang and the new Avengers team were essentially scrapped. Most, though, not all. It does seem like Marvel Studios still has one really big plan for the new Avengers team. The story of who they're fighting and the stories of the movies that come before the next Avengers film, which now of course is Avengers Doomsday, they might have changed, but the team looks to be remaining the same. And it is going to be quite a big roster. Now, Avengers Endgame was the greatest crossover movie in history, a lot of people call it. We had so many different characters. And a lot of people, after that came out, were stating, how is Marvel Studios ever going to top this with the next Avengers film? Well, originally we didn't think that they were going to go all out in the next film, but then Robert Downey Jr. was announced as Dr. Doom, and that's huge. Then we also got a report from Deadline that stated the next Avengers film, we could see more than 60 actors reprise their roles as characters in the MCU in this single movie. Now, we knew Avengers Secret Wars was going to be huge, simply because of the multiverse, and the potential for characters coming out of other universes is insane. But we do still have to have a single Avengers team on our Earth. And Kevin Feige and other executives at Marvel Studios have talked about how that team is going to start to be assembled a little bit before, at the time it was Kang Dynasty, but now Doomsday. And they will be assembled, and some characters have already started to assemble other characters, and it's not exactly who you think it would be. The new Avengers team is going to be big, and it's really going to consist of a lot of teams coming together, but they all will be Avengers. For starters, the new team won't be formed by who you think, or at least by who we're being led to believe is going to form the new Avengers to a certain extent. A lot of us believed for a long time that Sam Wilson's Captain America was going to be the one to put together the new Avengers team. And while he is definitely going to play a role in this, he is not going to be the main person putting together the team. We have seen in the leaked trailer for Captain America Brave New World that they showed only to people in attendance at D23. They did not release this publicly, but we've seen the leaked trailer that shows President Ross telling Sam Wilson that he wants to make Captain America an official government position again, and he wants him to make an Avengers team again. But what if I told you Sam Wilson is about to realize that the assembly of a new Avengers team has already begun? And right now it looks like we basically already have 3 leaders of the new Avengers team. Them combined with Sam would be 4, and each of them are going to play very important roles for the new Avengers team and the recruitment of new members. According to Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus, there are 3 vital members to the recruitment of the new Avengers team, and those 3 members are Wong, Bruce Banner, and Captain Marvel. Essentially, the post-credit scene that we saw in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was with the leaders of the new Avengers. And if we really think about who these 3 people are, it makes sense. Wong right now is the Sorcerer Supreme. He is responsible for protecting our Earth, and even though Doctor Strange of course has fought with the Avengers, so has Wong, and Wong does hold that title, Sorcerer Supreme. He is responsible for protecting Earth and Earth's reality, which we definitely know is going to come into play. Now, for those wondering, yes, Doctor Strange is going to be a part of the new Avengers team. He is going to play a very big role in the multiverse saga. However, some older reports before Robert Downey Jr. was announced as Dr. Doom, so take them with a grain of salt because Marvel Studios might have changed them since, but older reports have stated that specifically in Avengers Kang Dynasty at the time, Doctor Strange might not be there to fight with the team. Why won't he be there? Well, the post-credit scene for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. He's with Clea right now. And whether or not he joins the new Avengers team in Doomsday is really all going to depend on what they decide to do with that story with Clea. If Doctor Strange 3 happens before Doomsday, it's pretty easy for him to show up. If it doesn't, then they're gonna really need to give Doctor Strange and Clea some time in Avengers Doomsday to really show what they've been up to. If not, we might not see them until after Doomsday. They might not be a part of it. And before, the reason for this, the reason Doctor Strange was not going to be a part of Avengers Kang Kang Dynasty was because they need to lose. The Avengers were originally supposed to lose in Avengers Kang Dynasty, and I still believe that they're going to lose in Doomsday, but I think it's going to be a little bit different, the ending, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. So, although I believe Strange is probably going to be a part of this movie, there is a chance that he might not be. And of course, if we hear anything about that, we'll be sure to do an update. But going back to Wong, he already has some recruits. He has Shang-Chi, Katie, and America Chavez, who he has been training. And we will get to the Young Avengers in just a bit. But then we have Captain Marvel. She is supposed to recruit some people for the new Avengers team, and considering that she is kind of a cosmic character right now, and according to some older reports, she is out there in the universe somewhere trying to figure out a way to get Monica Rambeau back, which means she has the potential to run into characters out there in the universe, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, and possibly Nova, although we do believe Nova is coming after the multiverse saga, but you never know. So Captain Marvel could be responsible for bringing in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and also Thor and Valkyrie. We obviously know that she has a connection with Valkyrie, and she communicates with Valkyrie. She also did kind of have a little connection with Thor when we saw her and him interact in Avengers Endgame. And if he is out there somewhere in the universe and she is out there, they might come in contact with each other. So it would make sense that Captain Marvel will bring in Thor, Valkyrie, the possibility of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Miss Marvel. But again, we'll get into the Young Avengers in a bit. Now, the last one is Bruce Banner. Now, Bruce Banner automatically has his cousin, She-Hulk, and then he has his son, who was introduced in She-Hulk, Scar. He is also the link to the previous Avengers, like Hawkeye, Thor as well, and of course, the big one, Spider-Man. And depending on what they want to do with Rhodey, he could possibly be in there as well with the link to Bruce Banner. But his future is really uncertain right now. Now, regarding Thor, that also could mean Loki's involvement. And considering how he is literally holding the multiverse together right now, I'm assuming he's going to play somewhat of an important role. And I don't know about y'all, but I really want him to find out what this variant of Loki has done, because I want him to be proud of him. So that would be awesome. And then we have some loose characters that could be connected in a few different ways, like Ant-Man. The reason I don't believe they specifically know how Ant-Man is going to regroup with the rest of the Avengers is because they clearly had a plan with him before with Kang, but now it's Doom. So they'll definitely link him in there, but the question now is how. It wouldn't be too hard to say, well, this Kang guy was a problem, but this Doom guy is a bigger problem. And I do think they'll give Doom very similar powers to what Kang had. And then another sort of loose end is Black Panther, Shuri, but she can be connected through the Young Avengers and specifically Ironheart. So we've heard many different reports that the Young Avengers are indeed going to be part of the new Avengers team. So that would bring in a lot of different characters connected in many different ways, like we've already mentioned, America Chavez, Miss Marvel, Scar. If Wanda's sons really do come back, we could have Billy and Tommy. And of course, if Wanda does return, then we have the Scarlet Witch part of the team as well. But we have the Ironheart show coming out, and that could connect Shuri to the new Avengers team as well. With Hawkeye returning, that could bring in Kate Bishop. And if Ant-Man returns with the Wasp, that means his daughter could return as well. And there's one more very interesting connection that Ant-Man could bring, and that is Reed Richards. Yes, the Fantastic Four exist in a different universe right now. Yes, that universe is in the 60s, but according to some rumors and leaks, reportedly the Fantastic Four actually come from our universe. Something happened and they got sent to the other universe, but they will eventually come back. And Kevin Feige has confirmed the Fantastic Four will appear in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And if they were here before, they were clearly insanely smart. Reed Richards was, of course, and they're scientists who clearly had enough resources to do some experiment to send them to an alternate reality. That means they might know Hank Pym, or perhaps even Tony Stark's father, Howard Stark. So that's how Ant-Man could bring in the Fantastic Four, because we know they're going to be a part of this movie. That's confirmed. So perhaps Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne return with Ant-Man, which would make sense because they were very involved with the story for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and that could be the connection to the Fantastic Four. So as you can see, we have quite a big team already, but then you have to add in the recent reports that we've heard about the Thunderbolts. Insider My Time to Shine Hello has stated that the asterisk on the new Thunderbolts logo and name is because, as a lot of us were guessing already, the Thunderbolts name will actually change eventually, and that name will change to the Avengers, meaning the Thunderbolts members who survive the movie, because let's face it, we're not sure all of them are going to survive they will go on to be a part of the new Avengers team, and that would make sense if Bucky survives. We've recently found out via an interview with Sebastian Stan that Bucky is the leader of the Thunderbolts. So once they finish their mission doing whatever they're doing in the Thunderbolts, and once they kind of get free, if Doom comes and the Avengers are assembled, Bucky's going to want to go fight with the new Avengers team, and he's going to bring his new team with him. That's a really easy and kind of perfect segue to bring in the Thunderbolts to the new Avengers team. Bucky. It makes perfect sense continuity-wise. And based off of what we've heard so far, the test screenings for the Thunderbolts movie have gone pretty well. And I do really like the characters in the Thunderbolts, so I do hope they join the new Avengers team. And again, with Bucky as the leader, it would make sense. Now, as far as the ending is concerned, again, I do believe the Avengers are going to lose, which is pretty easy to think about, because if we are going into Avengers Secret Wars and Doom is the main villain, then we probably are getting Battleworld. And unfortunately for the Avengers, in order for us to get Battleworld, the entire multiverse has to be destroyed, which means the Avengers would have failed. But this does set up Secret Wars. So just like we had Infinity War, where the Avengers lost, but then came back and won in Avengers Endgame, that's pretty much what we're thinking is going to happen with Avengers Doomsday. The Avengers will lose and come back and win with Avengers Secret Wars and somehow reset the destruction of the multiverse. They do end up restoring the multiverse in the comics, so they definitely can do it in the MCU. So this would certainly explain why there are going to be so many different heroes in the next Avengers film, as Deadline reported. There really are a lot of characters that they can bring together here, all of which have big connections to many different characters in the new Avengers roster. So it all makes sense. And if they are trying to go bigger than Infinity War and Endgame, this is certainly a great way to go bigger. Have a really big Avengers team right off the bat and have this really big team, this really strong team, lose to Doom. If you want to show how strong your new villain is, that's a great way to show it. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. If this is our new Avengers team, do you like it or do you not? What would you change? Let me know your thoughts, and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all things in the MCU. And you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.